Some of you are on a strict diet. There's a way to work it out. Come in, have a seat, come sit around. We want the middle area open. The restrooms are downstairs. The men's is all the way to the back of the hall. The women's is the third door on the right. Step it out, Travis. You're bunching up. Keep going. Step it out. Take a wider step. Don't be shy. Get in there if you want to get in there. Go all the way around, Travis. Go around. So if you just came in, go ahead and pick yourself a seat along the wall. We're trying to make a circle. If you want a round dance, go ahead and jump in there. We do have some champion round dancers in the building. Champion people dress dancers, champion grass dancers, chicken dancer, geez. Some of you that have never round danced, this is your chance. Get out there and round dance. Moses? Oh, good job. Thank you. Thank you for participating. That's awesome. Good to see you all out there participating. So we're going to get going here. We're just waiting for a few more groups. Remember, if you have to use a bathroom, the bathrooms are on the bottom floor. Men's all the way to the end. The women's is the third door or second door on the right. So chaperones, let's get your students and we'll just make a big U. We do have a group that's going to come in and perform. So we have some really good speakers that are going to speak here. We're just waiting on a few groups and waiting for the head lady to get here and give me the thumbs up and we'll get rolling. It is going to get kind of warm in here, so just bear with us. We are kind of coming to the end here, so you can't hear it. Too much bass. These guys like bass. Check. Is that better? No? Yes? No? Hello? Check. All right, students, come in. Grab a seat. make a circle, just jump in there. We're gonna get going because we got some time. We have some kids that have to take off. So not in the middle, kind of scoot out a little bit just because we have a performance. So come on, students, come in and sit around. Make a big U. Come on, students, come out of that corner. I can't see you back there. Come on, we want to see all your faces up here. Come in and sit down. If you need your friend, tell them, hurry up, right here. Come in, students, come in and take a seat. Come on, we're gonna get going. We have a little bit of time here. We're gonna get things moving. Come in. Don't block the door. Come in. Hurry up.
How did you get up there? 75%.
So hurry up real quick. One quick question. Did you guys enjoy this morning's session? I know it was kind of weird with the colors, but you know, we're working on this, and you come again next year, we'll have it all fixed. So I'm just gonna hand this mic over to Mr. Joseph Grady here. He's one of our speakers. He's gonna do his thing, and just give me your attention. Here we go.
Right on. Thank you so much. First of all, thanks everyone for being here, and welcome to the University of Montana here in Missoula, Montana. I am a full-time staff member here, level 2, I guess is what it's classified as, but essentially what I do is I run the game room here in the University Center, and I also work with student programming. I work with student advisement, and what that means is students come to me and my colleagues. Antonio is one of these guys, and Sage as well, who have ideas. They have projects they want to work on. They have a message that they want to send out to the community. They have a speaker that they want to bring in. I don't know if you've ever heard of a group called the 1491s. If you're aware of them, somebody's heard of them. They're pretty slick. A couple of those guys actually operate here and around campus, and so we've been very fortunate, and these guys have brought them in to do programming, so that's one example. We're cutting out here. It's all good. All right. So yeah, that's essentially what I do. I went to school here at the University of Montana, so this is my alma mater. I'm a social worker. I'm also as a secondary degree, Native American Studies. And I was actually taking some of the first classes that were offered in the brand new Payne building. And it was really exciting at that time to see that happen, to see that transition here in our region, to be the first campus in the United States to offer to all of its students, not just Native American students, but every student, a solely dedicated center for Native American people and the education on who we are, how we exist in community, how we exist in the world, what our story is, and so forth. So all of this really ties into what my purpose is here on campus. I came here with the purpose of educating those who are not aware of who we are a little more about our story, how many tribes are represented here in the state of Montana. Does anybody know? Give a show of hands. I'm not going to call on anyone. Does anyone know how many tribes are represented? Throw them up. All right, a few of you. You got some people throwing up signs. So, all right. Again, welcome here today. We've got Tony Morissette here behind us, and of course Sage, who are going to speak on their own personal experiences of what it is to be a student what it is to be Native American at the University of Montana, and then I might follow up a little bit with my own experience. But we really want to give you the opportunity to hear what it is like from our students, from someone who is closer to your own age group, not being super old. So anyway, I will pass it over to Tony and let him introduce himself. Thank you.
Hanse, Uzu. Hello, my name is Antonio Morset, Kihiasis, or Tony, as Joseph calls me. I come from Montana. I'm a Chippewa Cree. Yeah. So, I'm graduating this year with an environmental studies degree and 2 minors in media arts and studio arts. So, I mean, that's a pretty big accomplishment, I feel like. And thank you. And it's also a big accomplishment because as a Native person, this wasn't the easiest thing. It was never easy whenever I got here. I was racially profiled, not only by students, but by my professors. And me not really being a quiet person all the time, I spoke up and I told them that what they're saying is wrong. And that fight has never stopped. I'm fighting to this day to make sure that Native people are heard and that we're understood, that we're here and we're still fighting. We're still fighting injustices all around this country. I am an activist here on campus, as Joseph had said. I helped get the Indigenous Peoples Day established here on campus, which is replacing Columbus Day. How many people like Columbus here? No, that's good. That's good. He's a terrible person. So we're right now at the University of Montana. We don't fully recognize Indigenous Peoples Day, which is terrible, but we do celebrate it here. I helped get it so that Missoula recognizes Indigenous Peoples Day, and now there's a bill being put in place, and the entire state of Montana will be recognized in Indigenous Peoples Day. So it all started here at the university with the help of some people, and I was one of those people that helped do that. So just that goes to show that Natives do have a voice, and Natives can make a change. And I encourage all of you to do that, to do the same. Make sure that nobody ever puts you down and gets away with it. If they say something that doesn't sit well with you, speak up and tell them that that's wrong. And they will listen. They may not listen right away, but it'll fester inside them. It'll build up, and they'll eventually see the errors of their ways. And going to school here has been really, really helpful. I mean, I traveled the world. I went to Vietnam, met some Indigenous people there, and they were really helpful in showing me that colonialism is not just here, but it's everywhere. And it's something that every Indigenous people in the world fight to do, fight to overcome. And it's really helpful because seeing that they could get over what happened to them and still love the people that come and visit them, that come from America and visit them, and they still love all those people. That shows that we could really learn from that too. That we could still love all these people. We could still see that all of those things are happening, but they are still people as well, just like us, and we could really learn from everybody around the world. And so, how many people are graduating this year from high school? Are you guys planning on going to college? Yeah? Are you planning on staying here in the States? Or not in the States, but in Montana? Yeah? No? You don't know? I encourage it. I encourage staying in Montana. We're awesome. Even if you don't come here, be a grizzly, become a bobcat. Bobcats are okay. Not as good as grizzlies, but they're okay. I recommend that you definitely do go into college, and make sure that you look at scholarships. that are present or available for you. Because without scholarships, if I would have never have gotten to be able to pay for college. Right now I'm getting paid to go to college because I have all the scholarships I tried in high school and I'm trying in college. And whenever you're in college and you actually try, your professors and everybody will recognize that you're actually trying, and they'll give you a scholarship too. I got a scholarship from my department because I was trying, and they recognized that. So I just recommend that you just make sure that you keep on trying and you keep on fighting for your beliefs, and never forget that you have, or where you came from, and that you have a bunch of people behind you. Not just people that are here seeing you, but your ancestors are here. One of my favorite quotes goes, we are our ancestors' prayers made flesh. So remember that your ancestors are here fighting with you. You may not see them, but they're fighting too. Hi, hi.
All right. Thank you, Tony, for speaking. Everyone, this is my brother, Antonio. Yeah. And my name is Sage Stone. I'm a freshman here at U of M. I'm also in a fraternity here, Sigma Phi Epsilon. But, yeah, kind of gave me this news like 2 days ago, so I didn't really prepare for this. Sorry. It's not as awesome as you think. But I'm just here to talk about what it means to be Native American and being in a fraternity here, because I know it's basically unheard of. Yeah. Definitely there is some differences being Native and in this fraternity, especially around this environment where everyone else is basically not basically white. I'm basically a non-white person in this thing. And that's definitely interesting. All right, thank you, Tom. But well, in my fraternity, as far as I know, I'm the first Native American in my fraternity, which is a big deal with everyone in my fraternity because they're just, I guess, they make a big deal out of it. To them, it's pretty awesome. To me, it's just like, first time being in this thing, don't really know what to expect. And yeah.
It's his first time speaking up, so.
Yeah. Has anyone else thought about joining a fraternity or Greek life in general, like sorority fraternity, going to college? Nobody? Oh, really, nobody? Wow, that's cool. Well, you should definitely try it, or at least give it a thought, because this is definitely a good experience. It's something that I've enjoyed since I've gotten into college or university here. So I joined it a month into being here, so this is my freshman year. And yeah, it's just a great group of guys that are in my fraternity. I mean, compared to other ones, I'm not, because my fraternity does no hazing, no pledging, none of that. So I wasn't hazed, I wasn't like discriminated or anything, because my fraternity is the only one here on campus that looks down and all that. So it's definitely easy being in there. And it's just great experience overall. Well, for me to get into college here, to answer your question, how it was for me getting into college was kind of not so easy yet, because I'm originally from Canada, First Nation Cree. Yeah, because I'm not from here, there was like a lot of issue with me having a low blood quantum, whatever, and then I had to go through this whole little spiel about having to explain my, I had to be basically 50% more than Native to come here, which I had to go through this big deal where they called my tribe, which is Rocky Boy, to go ahead and clear that, and they pretty much fixed it. But other than that, it's pretty basically here how everything is Tony, except I don't have all the scholarships Antonio does, but it's because he has like brain just, I don't know how smart he is. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Thank you, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, really give it up for these guys. It takes a lot of heart, a lot of courage to get out here and try and encourage young people. Essentially, that's what we're asking these guys to do. It's a huge responsibility. Like I said, I'm a lot older. I got a lot more mileage on me. So standing up in front of people, that's actually something that I was trained to do here in school. It's not hard, it's mostly methodology, how to breathe, what to think about, how to talk, and so forth. But what gives that life, what gives that purpose and meaning is the person behind the microphone. What my experience has been in life, and I think that's what we're here to do today, is tell you what our experience is like here on campus, which I think Antonio really expressed pretty eloquently. It's not easy. It's not like home. You'll run into quite a lot of ignorance. It can be abrasive and confronting. It can be isolating. It can be daunting and scary. But what I have found here at the University of Montana, aside from just here on campus, but in the region, are very giving and supportive community of fellow Native American people who are experiencing a similar identity here in this region. And a lot of it comes from just not being understood. It comes sometimes from students, sometimes from staff, like you've heard, other people having administrative staff that maybe don't get where you're coming from or what your objective is or what you believe your purpose is. And so anytime I get a chance to speak in front of a group of young people who are considering going to university or college, community college, technical school, they're all continuing education. They're all opportunities to empower yourself in community, for yourself, for your family, for however you identify. And I want to be clear in that message because there will be a lot of people in these education realms that will try and steer you in their direction. University is an opportunity for you to further broaden your horizons and your knowledge, build on who you already are, place greater faith in the things that you believe in and identify with. This is really a true gift of what university can offer. It's very empowering. But you have to remember that there's another side of it that is also a business, and there's another side of it that is also education. And so it's up to us individually and as communally to navigate that environment, to try and become the most robust people we can. We have a tremendous amount of responsibility. This role that I fill here on campus, a game room manager, essentially running a facility where pool tables and video games are played, has given me the opportunity to step up and work with students like Tony to advance initiatives on campus that honor and respect our heritage, the people that have come before us and struggled, Men like William Yellow Robe, I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's an early playwright. He's very, very well known and renowned in and creating indigenous theater. These are landmark acts. 2017, this is the first member of his fraternity. I think that's worthy of an applause, actually. Give it up for this guy, because when I found that out, I started doing the math, immediately. 2017. Thank you, first of all, for stepping up. Because, again, going back to my point, what I find myself as this game room manager is an opportunity to represent Native American people in education, in community, not as a recruiter for the campus, not as a recruiter for their retention agenda, whatever that may be, but to let students know, young students know, that school is here, it's waiting, it's here for when you are ready. It's here to be utilized, to be used as a power, to empower yourselves in a larger community. And it's never, ever, ever to qualify whether or not you belong. Because you already do. Every one of us, we belong to this place. And we have the opportunity to go forward and share that message with those around us, and that's what we've been doing. And so I'm proud of guys like Sage and Antonio for coming out here and having the courage to say that we do belong here, that this is our home, that education is definitely for us on our own terms. Thank you.
Hello. So, do you guys have any questions or anything for any of us about the university? One thing to keep in mind is that the university isn't all about just going to class and having fun. I mean, it's all about having fun, but I mean, it's not all about going to class and studying and doing all these really hard things. It's all about making relationships, making connections with different people. I've made connections with Joseph. I've made connections with a couple other people that I'm working with right now. I'm helping run a congressional campaign for the Montana Green Party. So you can make connections to things like that. You could, if you don't find something in politics, maybe you'll find some friends in frisbees. I mean, the University of Montana is really great for their frisbee. I think they play like nationals. They win nationals here a lot. So I mean, there's other opportunities. You could play Magic if you like to play Magic. You could play other tabletop games. You could play volleyball. And if there's something that isn't here at the university, you can make it up yourself. We have one of the best, or we actually have the best university for the associate students at the University of Montana. ASUM is a student government here, and we have an autonomous government. We run over $4 million a budget of $4 million. We run the the electric buses. It's the first in the entire country to have electric buses here, run by students. So I mean, there's a whole bunch of opportunities, and they distribute money to student groups, and those student groups, there's over 200 student groups here at the University of Montana. And if none of those 200 student groups fit what you like, you can make up your own student group. It's not very hard. So just, if you want to go to the university and you don't feel like it's something that for you, there's definitely something for you here. There's definitely something for you because you are the person that's making the university fit you. The university isn't here without you. I mean, you're important, and I want you to keep that in mind. So just make sure that if you don't really want to go to the university, just give it a second thought. Just try to see something else. But I mean, university isn't always for everybody, but you can make it for you.
All right, that was pretty good. These are some good, fine gentlemen. You know, I've been around Missoula for a while, and it's usually you don't see native stuff going on, but lately in these last few years, you know, I've seen almost everything. You know, Indigenous Peoples Day, different things in the Oval. You know, they're really good at organizing things for Indigenous people. So I want to thank you guys for all that you do here at the university, and hopefully we see you out here and seeing some of these students. So give them one more round of applause. Is there any questions? Anything? Is there a walk on Saturday? There is a fun run, I believe. I'm not sure. I will look and get back to you. So who's all sticking around for the powwow? Anybody? Are you guys dancing? Dancing? What category? Because I usually judge. Hey, I take 20s. No EBT. So come see me. All right, we're kind of waiting for one of our speakers to come. There's a lot of construction going on, so he's running a little behind. So I'm going to play a round dance song. You guys jump up and try it out one more time, and we'll give him 10 minutes, you know. Go around and introduce yourself to somebody that you don't know. Don't be shy. We represent Missoula County Public Schools. Missoula County Public Schools, get out there and dance. This is your youth conference. Get out there and dance. Mr. Griffin, get up for dance. Great Girl Cup, get up for dance. Golden Eagle. With your left leg and your right eye, serving, you did it right. So real quick, I just want to introduce our next guest. This is Mr. Mark Thane. He is the superintendent of Missoula County Public Schools. He really supports what we do in our program. You know, we go to him and he listens to our idea and he tells us, let's get it done. So this is a good guy right here, so give him a hand.
Thank you, Ray. Hello. Thanks, Ray. As Ray said, my name is Mark Thane, and I'm the superintendent of Missoula County Public Schools. And I'm really honored to be here today for a number of reasons. First of all, we as a school district recognized some years ago that we were not supporting our students to the degree that we needed to, and our graduation rates were suffering. Here in Missoula, we were graduating about 81% of our students, and that wasn't a number that we were comfortable with. So we introduced a program called Graduation Matters Missoula, and the idea was that we were going to work to support students, to identify their needs, and to help them to succeed in school. And I'm really proud of the fact that now we have in Missoula the highest graduation rate of all the AA schools in the state of Montana. But more importantly, we have the highest graduation rate for Native students in the state of Montana's Class AA schools. And I think that's really important because there are people like our Indian Education Department who are here to really provide the boots on the ground and the support that's so critical to help students experience success. And we recognize that even though we've made a lot of progress, we still have a lot of work to do. We need to create safe and inclusive school environments that value all students. We need to make sure that we're fully implementing Indian education for all, so that in all curriculum areas, the culture and the heritage that's so important to Montana's Native students is recognized, valued, and appreciated. We have, through our Indian Ed department, a very cohesive and a very supportive parent committee. And we know that it's so critical that we engage everyone in our efforts to make sure that we work for student success. And so that's one of our strengths, but it's also one of our goals, is to continue to work to identify the supports that are necessary for all students to succeed, and to make sure that we're ready to provide those supports. And I don't need to tell you certainly that there are lots of challenges facing high school and middle school students today. And we need to have a better understanding of what it means to support all students to achieve success and all students to graduate. But it's not enough to say that graduation matters. What's really critical is that we make sure that when you do graduate, it does matter for you. That you have the skills you need to enter post-secondary education or the world of work. So as you get into high school, instead of talking about a 4-year plan to get you to graduation, we need to be talking about 6-year and 8-year plans to make sure that you have the opportunities for the careers that you desire. Whether it's something that requires a high school diploma, a 2-year diploma, a 4-year diploma, a trade school certificate. We want all students to graduate from Missoula County Public Schools and all the other schools in the state of Montana with the skills they need so that they can aspire to a career and to the next level. I think it's so important to honor the diversity and the culture that all of our students bring to the school system. We have, I think, about 6% of our students that have Native heritage. And that culture brings a richness and a diversity to our school district. So what I would say to you is, it's really important as you return to your home schools, whether it's in Missoula or elsewhere, that you take great pride in the traditions and the culture that is your heritage, and that you express that freely, and that you help all students to understand how important that is to all of us in the state of Montana. Because truly, we as a state are founded, and we are as a state successful because of what all students bring to the table. And we again know that we have a lot of work to do with regard to full acceptance of all students in our school system, and that's a goal for us. So I hope that you will help us to understand what the needs are of high school students and middle school students in Missoula County Public Schools as well as across the state. Help us to understand what we need to do to support you and to help your dreams become a reality. And again, I just would like to express my appreciation to the Indian Education Department in Missoula County Public Schools. They've done a great job in helping to bring students and families together and to help identify the supports that are necessary for us to continue to move the dial and to improve our education for all students. And they really will help us to fulfill our mission, which is success for all students every day. So how about a hand recognizing our Indian Ed department, and I know they're dispersed throughout the room. So again, I would just express my appreciation on behalf of Missoula County Public Schools. It's truly an honor and a pleasure for me to welcome you here. I hope that you'll continue to help us to become better at the work we do. And I hope that you all will really work to achieve the dreams that are before you. I think there are so many opportunities. There's so much in your future to be grasped. And we need to learn as a system and as a school system how to support you and help you to attain those dreams. So please feel free at any time, whether it's through the Indian Ed Department or through my office directly, contact us, help us to understand what we need to do to inspire student success. And again, I congratulate you and welcome you all to Missoula County Public Schools. Thank you.
All right, give that man one more round of applause. We'll see you later, Meadow Hill. Have a good day. So this next speaker I got is Mr. Michael Beers. I'll let him introduce himself. He's a comedian, so be ready.
All right, let's give a hand to Raymond. Come on. And one more big one for Mark Thane, everybody. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna need a favor right off the bat. Can I get everybody to scoot like 15 feet forward? I feel like I'm talking in an interrogation tank. You know, I know there are people on the other side of the window, I just can't see them. All right, scoot up, scoot up. And plus, don't be afraid to be in the front row with wireless microphone. I can make anything the front row. All right, you guys coming on. All right, you guys want to come up here? Maybe on this side? All right, if you stand back there, I'm going to be paranoid about the way my jeans look. All right. All right, how is everybody today? That was pathetic. That was so sad. I know it's hot in the gym. It's like right after lunch. But let's get a little more enthusiasm. How's everybody doing? Still not good, but better. I'm not going to make you do it again. I'm not going to make you do it. My name is Michael Beers. I grew up here in Missoula. Went through Missoula County Public Schools, K through 12. I'm also Blackfeet and Haida and a wee bit Irish. So, you know, just a little bit about my background. Before I get really started, I want to ask a favor of you. Thank you for moving up. It makes it a lot easier because I want this time we have together today to be a conversation, not a lecture. So there isn't going to be a designated like comment section. Because here's what happens. Whenever I was in school, whenever I was going to talk, the speaker would say something right away, and I'd have a question. I'd be like, oh, pick me, I got a question. And they'd point at me and say, wait till the end. So one of two things happens if you do that. I try to remember my question, and I listen to nothing else they say the entire time, so I don't forget, or I listen to what they're saying, and time comes to answer the question, and they're like, hey, Mr. Beers, you got a question? And I'm like, burrito? I don't know why when I get nervous I say burrito. I don't know what else to say. So, as I talk, if you have a comment, if you have a question, shoot up a hand, make your voice heard, and we'll deal with it right away. Otherwise, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my experience in life and in school, and hopefully we can have a dialogue. Because one of the things that I notice in this world, as someone of mixed heritage and someone who has a very visible disability, there are bullies in the world. There are people that will call you the wrong name. There are people that will tease you for who you are and things that you can't control openly. But there's another kind of impression and another attitude and behavior that hurt me a lot more sometimes than the name calling. And it was people not talking to me, not recognizing me as a human being. Because we were taught, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. So people's being uncomfortable with me and not knowing what to say about my hand, or not knowing the right word to use, or the right label to call me, instead of saying the wrong thing, they just didn't talk to me at all. And to me, that hurt, because I was being ignored. It wasn't that I was being recognized the wrong way, it wasn't that I wasn't being recognized at all. And in this day and age, the world that you live in, the world that I live in, there is usually never a right and a wrong answer. The right answer is a conversation. It's not a mandate. It's not you choose this side and you're right, you choose this side and you're wrong. It's let's talk. Both sides should talk, and that's the right answer. And in order to do that, we have to be humble. We have to be able to educate ourselves about what we don't know, and we have to be able to educate others that don't know us about how we are in an open way, without getting angry and with showing a little bit of patience. And I'm going to tell you, that took me an extremely long time to understand and to get. I spent a lot of time being angry at people staring at me, at people judging me, about people labeling me without getting to know me. And over time, I found better and better ways to deal with it. When I was younger, it was met with anger. It was met with me shutting down and not sharing with anybody. But I want to start by telling you guys one of my first memories growing up here in Missoula, Montana. How many people have been downtown Missoula? Spend any time down there? All right. So picture this. Let's go back, way back to 1992. I'm about 10 years old. I'm walking down the street with my mother. And it's one of those days when you're 10 years old, you don't want to be shopping. You just want to be home. You want to be watching cartoons and eating boogers. Like, that's your life. But I remember this day because amidst my pouting, I was looking down at the concrete. But for whatever reason, I looked up to the sky, and people, in that moment, I saw a sign, like a beacon of hope, said secondhand store. And I said, ha ha, yes, finally a store that has what I need. So I ran in to the counter, I went up to the counter, I found the guy that worked there, and I said, I want one. And he looked at me confused. He said, do you want a toaster? I said, no, man, I got toast. What I need from you is a second hand. Still looked confused, so I spelled it out for him. I said, listen, I have the first one. All I need to get from you is the second one. Do you have anything in the right that I could try on? Then he laughed and threw me out the store. That's a true story. So I learned what false advertising is that day. But I remember, we're all in school. I'm still in school, not formally, but I like to think everybody is a student and a teacher if you have the right mindset. But I remember my first days of school in Missoula. And we'll start with when I was in kindergarten. And times are changing. And you guys being here and you guys showing the leadership to show up today and to show up every day to school, even when it's tough, because that's what I recognize. It doesn't, one thing that I hear a lot as an adult, and I remember hearing when I was a student, was as the closer and closer you get to graduation, adults will say, oh, what are you going to do when you graduate and you enter the real world? That phrase to me was always disingenuous, and it always stabbed me a little bit. To think that something magic happens when you go across that stage and everything that you've experienced up until that point apparently wasn't real. But everything after that point is the real world. But I know I was a student. I had friends from different backgrounds. We didn't have a lot of money. I know I work with students today in special education in Title I. You're in the real world. There's no magic portal when you graduate that puts you in the real world, because the real world that you deal with every day is real. When you're not in school, before and after, that's real. But you guys show the initiative, you show the leadership, you show the drive to get up and go to school every day and to show up in an event like this. You might not be having the best day. You might be really sad right now, but you showed up. And that's very powerful leadership. Whether you ever get up with a microphone behind a podium and say, I have a dream, that doesn't matter. That doesn't make you a leader. That's one kind of leadership. But leadership by example, something that can show someone younger than you from the same neighborhood, from the same reservation, from the same school system, from a similar outlook, showing them how to get up every day and do what they need to do to get where they want to be, that's leadership. And that's something that I see in abundance in this gym. And it does have an effect. When I was in school, when I went to apply for public school in 1987, my mother took me into the administration office for that school. And this one doesn't happen now, but it happened back then. The administrator took one look at me and one look at my disability and told my parents, no, he doesn't belong here. He belongs in a school for people like him, where you need to just keep him at home. Basically telling my parents and me, I don't remember this happening. My mother tells me this story. Basically keep him comfortable because he's not going to amount to much. Now this story doesn't end with me getting upset or my parents getting upset and yelling at this guy, which I always thought was weird. I said, well, I want to, I might have punched somebody. But no, it turns out my mom doesn't have to yell. My mother is a quarter Jedi. So she simply looked at this man and said, Michael is going to your school. And he looked back at my mom and said, Michael is coming to my school. So it took advocacy from day one to get me into school. But once you get into school, you start getting labeled. And everybody in this gym has labels, whether it's based on disability, whether it's based on background, who you like, what you do, what you wear, what you listen to. Everybody has these labels. My first label was special ed. And I hated that label because it meant my first day of school was different for everybody else in grade school. Remember grade school? There's a couple people I see running around still in it. Grade school, you show up, you get a new teacher, and that new teacher greets everybody by saying, hey, nice to meet you, Sarah. Let's have a great year. Hey, Tommy, I had your older brother. Hopefully you're nothing like him. But everybody got the same kind of greeting except me, because I had a label. So a lot of times, not every time, but my greeting came with a pause and a look at a chart. And all of a sudden, my teacher would have an accent that said, so they walk up to me and say, hello, how are you doing? Pat, pat. And I was 5 years old. I was like, why are you yelling at me? So I did the only thing I could. I assumed that most of my teachers had disabilities. Like slow-talking disabilities. So I tried to accommodate. I'd respond, I'm okay. How are you? I was 17 before we figured out neither one of us talked like that. But change happens. We're doing better. We're not doing the best, but we're getting there. With Indian education, we're not doing the best, but we're getting there. For instance, I don't think in most public schools that we're touting Columbus as a hero anymore, which is great because every Columbus Day I got kicked out of class for laughing because I knew Columbus was a joke. I knew because I spent time talking to my aunties and my uncles and my teachers in Browning, but then I come here. And at Columbus Day, they say, Columbus was a hero. And he just... Okay. Let's think about this, shall we, class? If there's someone there to greet you, it's not new. That'd be like me walking into Walmart, and when the old guy in the blue vest says, welcome, I look him dead in the eye and say, no. This is a brand new store. I just discovered it. Show me to your corn. But we don't do that. We don't do that anymore. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna tell you one more story, and then I'm gonna stick around afterwards if anyone has any questions. But we are having a change, and it's all about having a conversation. So I was in the grocery store a year ago, and I'm holding a head of lettuce under my little arm, and a bottle of dressing in my left hand. And this woman walks up to me, about my mom's age. We're not gonna say what that is. But she walked up to me and popped my space bubble right away. And she yelled, "Do you need assistance?" And I didn't know her, but I have a system now. I say, "No, thank you, I'm fine." Because this happens a few times a week. Generally what happens is they feel better for having offered, and I feel better because they leave. This woman hung in there for 30 seconds. It felt like an hour. But then she repeated her question, louder this time. She said, "Do you need assistance?" And as comfortable as I am in front of all of you in this incredibly hot gym, one-on-one, if I don't know you, if I've never met you, I get incredibly awkward. And my first attempt at getting her to leave, having failed, my fight or flight said, "Run." So I ran down the aisle, and I heard two things as I ran down the aisle. I tripped and dropped the dressing, so I heard the bottles shatter on the floor. And this woman yelled in a very satisfied voice, "I knew you needed assistance." So that was one moment in that day. The next moment, I went to a coffee shop down the street, because as adults, you can't carry around your binky all the time. So we need things like coffee. So I'm in line to get coffee to take a breath and heal after this awkward moment in the grocery store. And in front of me, there's a mom about my age, around 30, with two little boys. They were like 5 or 6 years old. And let me tell you, when a 5 or 6-year-old child sees my hand, sees this, they become ninjas. Their eyes get really big, and they start ducking behind tables and hiding behind their parents' leg, and they're like, "Oh, we've never seen one like that before." And we've all been kids. We all spend time around kids. What happens when the adult sees a child staring at anyone? Could be a disability, could be skin color, could be sexual orientation or gender, whatever. If a kid is staring at somebody they've never seen before, what is the reaction by the adult with them? What happened to you if you stared at somebody in public? Yeah, don't stare, that's not polite. And they'll physically grab you and turn you away from somebody. You know what? Look it up on Wikipedia. Thousands of spinal cord injuries a year happen because parents grab their kids too tight and spin them around too hard, and they sever their spinal cord. They end up in a wheelchair. They get stared at, and the whole cycle repeats itself. That's not true. But that is the status quo. When we are faced with differences, especially visible, the status quo is, don't stare, that's not polite. And here's the question I'm going to end the story with for you. If we have 3 characters in this play, me, the person getting stared at, the parent who feels bad because their kid was staring at somebody, and the children as the 3rd character. If we perpetuate, don't stare, that's not polite, who wins? Who's winning in this scenario? Nobody. I'm not winning because I feel singled out. The parent feels awkward, and the only thing the child learned was not that we are diverse people with different perspectives, and I should educate myself and ask questions when I have them. All that child learns is that is different, that person is different. I just got yelled at for looking at them. I don't want to get yelled at in the future. So instead of engaging with that person, I'm going to avoid them because I don't want to get yelled at. Which makes what this mom did and why people like us and leaders like us are needed in the world to educate, not blame, is proof that we are having a difference. Because she didn't say, don't stare, that's not polite. She pushed her boys toward me and asked very humbly, very respectfully, sir, could they ask you a question? And I said, cool. So they looked up at me with these big brown eyes and they said, dude, what's wrong with your hand? And I gave them the 5-year-old response, which is, I didn't eat my vegetables. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. The mom would have loved that I said that. I didn't say it. I said I was born with a short arm, and this thing that looks like a thumb, not a thumb, my index finger. But the doctor knew I would need coffee cups, so he gave me a thumb. And you could see the gears in their head turning until the little kid on my right side grabbed my little hand and his little hand, and he said, have you ever seen E.T.? Your hand looks like E.T.'s hand. I was like, ouch. But we talked about aliens for 20 minutes, and I got his mom's phone number. So it didn't work out with the mom. It didn't work out with the mom. But none of that happens. None of that conversation, none of that friendship, none of that experience happens if we say, don't stare, that's not polite, and we never have a conversation with another human being. So again, I'll be here if you have questions, but I want to thank you and applaud you for starting that conversation and being willing to be a part of it and for being here. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you.
All right, chaperones. We have a dance troupe from Wyola, but we are going to have that at the PNAC, so let's make our way over to the PNAC so you guys can gather up your stuff. We're going to watch this performance, one more speaker, and we'll call it a day. We really want to thank you guys for coming out. You know, it was a good conference. Next year, we'll be doing the same thing, so keep an eye out for it.
This is what they call the Upsalaga flag. Upsalaga means the children of the long-beaked bird.
The background of the crow flag is light blue to represent the sky and water. The gold edging on the border of the flag represents Big Meadow, one of the bighorn rams that rescued a poor boy pushed over a canyon wall by his stepfather. The tribal emblem is in the center of the flag. These are the main beliefs of the crow. Starting at the bottom is the peace flag, which is used in prayers for different ceremonies and most revered as to evoke blessings from the tree. It was used before engaging in warfare. Above it is a sacred medicine bundle that contains the original seeds of the sacred tobacco plant is above the peace flag. The sweat lodge is above it, and in this ceremony, one prays for purification and strength. There are 3 stories that tell us what is represented in this ceremony. The 7 buffaloes, the twins, and Big Meadow, the bighorn ram. In the center of the flag is a teepee. It is another mother to us, as it protects us and covers us. It was a gift from White Oak. There are 4 center poles that represent animals that protect us. There are 2 war bonnets. They represent the clan system. The one on the left represents the father's side of the clan. And those are your prayers, warriors, and are there throughout your life to support you and applaud you. The one on the right is your mother's clan that you are born into. The clan is like a family. Behind the teepee is the sacred mountain ranges of the Crow, which are the Crier, Bighorn, and the Wolf Teeth Mountains. At the top of is the sun, with rays of yellow and orange because the sun is a source of power. The rays represent the total original plants.
Thank you. This is Davian White. He's going to explain the origin of the clans within our tribe.
Old Man Cow was walking along the bank of the river during the moon when the ice melts and the waters rise and become swift. You notice when one piece of the wood would come down the torrential waters, it would be tossed to and fro and torn to pieces. He then noticed when a number of branches would cling together, they would be strong, and no matter how they were slammed against the banks, they would be together. They would stay together. He used this as an analogy or example of the torrential rivers as the rivers of life, and a single branch represents one person. Without the support of the clans, the 6 clans are as follows.
Characteristic of the Big Dog clan is that they were good workers and they were hefty, meaning they were strong and stout and always working. Their symbol is a large teepee and their color is red. Ties to the bundle were always in a hurry when they moved camp and were not neat. They would give their 4 belongings and put them in a bundle and tie it up. Their symbol is a bundle tied on top and their color is orange. Originally, this clan color was pink, and the people in Montreal painted orange to match their school color. The Orisha Simao was the clan who were keepers of the sun. Their spiritual power was the sun, their symbol was the sun, and their color was
ancestors, especially the ladies, would sing lullabies to the babies and sing them to sleep. In times of hardship, they would sing these lullabies, and they would help each other out with those lullabies. There, come on up, all come up about here.
These lullabies for children have been handed down from generation to generation for hundreds of years. They are spiritual in origin. When a mother would lose a child in death, she would retreat outside the camp. The Creator would see her, hear, and hear her cries, and would send an animal to sing a song of comfort. Oftentimes it would be a mother animal singing to her young. Other songs gives us clues to our exact migratory route to find our promised land.
This first song they're going to sing is called the Red-Headed Wolf. The second song is the bear song. Thank you. This next portion of our performance this afternoon is going to be, it refers to education. And it's going to be done in sign language. And this is Go My Son. This young lady is going to say a poem first. Or, go on.
This is a quote from Chief Honeycoop, our last club chief. When the Buffalo Days have come to an end, he encouraged his people with these words. With education, you are a white man's equal. Without education, you are his victim.
Long ago, War Chief counseled his people in the ways that they should walk. He wisely told them, education is the ladder to success and happiness. Go, my son, and climb that ladder. Go, my son, go and climb the ladder. Go, my son, go and earn your feather. Go, my son, make people proud of you. Work, my son, get an education. Work, my son, learn a good vocation.
Thank you. I'm on the powwow circuit. These young men, these young ladies like to get out and dance. And a lot of them are champions in their own categories. And they're going to perform what is called a straight dance this afternoon. At this time of the year, a lot of our powwows start up usually in the universities here. This next dance was originated back in the 50s. And this is known as the crow hop. They're going to do that dance for you here this afternoon. This is the crow hop. This next dance is referred to as the sneak up.
Duck and dive.
Okay, we kind of jumped the gun there. This next one is the what they call duck and dive. In the old days, as they went into battle, as arrows and whatever were shot at the warriors, they would duck, and the whatever was shot at them would go over them and miss. And this dance came from that. It's called the duck and dive. Thank you. This next one refers to dances originated from, they tell us, the scouts, the wolves, chief duck. They go into the enemy territory. They're the first ones to lay down and drink water from the streams. And it also refers to hunting, as they would hunt the buffalo, the elk, the deer, whatever. They would search for the game, bring home food and feed their families. And this dance refers to that is called the sneak-up. Thank you. Back in the 1920s or 1930s, this elder from our reservation married a white lady. She took him out east to Chicago. But while he was there, he observed the different dances, the waltz. But he brought that back. He said, I was out east and I observed the dance. But he converted that into our native way of dancing. Since it originated not from our culture, they dance this, everything we do clockwise. But this certain dance since it originated from out of our culture, they go counterclockwise. And this is the version they call the push dance. And they're going to perform that for you here this afternoon.
Get ready, girl.
Come out about here, okay, I'll stand here. This is Maraja Keys, and everything we do in prayer. We ask for prayer from the Creator, and she's going to reiterate to you what we've been doing here this afternoon and the prayers that have been uttered.
As we come to the close of our program with the signing of the Lord's Prayer, we're lifting up all nations from Alaska throughout Indian country to the islands that they'll never lose their sovereignty but prosper in all areas. We pray for the youth that they will not take wrong paths of drugs and alcohol, but follow the golden path of education and being Christ at the beginning of youth and walk in his ways and reach their full potential, for he is all good. We pray for the elders that they will live a full and healthy life and live up to a ripe old age and pass on their wisdom and knowledge. We pray for the age groups in between that they will nurture the gifts and help their children grow because the youth is our future. We pray for our brothers in North Dakota that in their fight against injustice, may they be victorious in their battle. May you all be blessed as
Thank you. This last portion of our song, our performance is the Lord's Prayer in sign language.
You're supposed to tell me what
That would be the conclusion of our program here this afternoon. I'd like to ask our Superintendent, Linda Pease, to say a few words this afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Backbone. I wanted to just quickly introduce our people. Mr. Bill Backbone, he's the chairman of our school board. And over here, Mr. Spotted, he's one of our school board members. We also have Mrs. Wilson. Again, she's the director and has been running this program for about 10 years. She can include all these things. And I'd also like to introduce the chairman of our parent committee, Jennifer Spotted. From this direction and introducing the students. We have Blake Iron, we have Malachi Melbear, Alberto Spotted, Olivia Stewart, Charity Black Eagle, Jessica Firebear, Lucy Backbone, Lorraine Turns Plenty, Diamond Amiot, Raja Pease, and Giselle Pease. Over here, our students that read, our Mr. Darius Highwalker, So the singers that came with us, we have young men that sing, but they stay home to play hand games, or they're dancers. They do both. So our singer today from our community and a parent in our school is Mr. Shan Iron. Thank you, and we encourage you to hit the powwow this weekend and have a safe trip on your way. Thank you.